Hey everyone, this is Persia from Team Broken's here, and welcome to Marvel Minds. Defend the North 2015 has come and gone, but this match in particular is one I could watch anytime. Winner's final of Defend the North between Dual Kevin and Punisher showed us a rare and refreshing side of Marvel. Both players are character specialists of a few members of the cast you don't get to see very often, so it's nice to see these characters being used to their full potential. Dual Kevin has been making waves this year and really showing off some sick Deadpool play. With multiple top 8 placings and hype exhibitions in 2015, it really makes me interested in seeing what he'll do in 2016. But according to Kevin, his current tournament record against Punisher is 3-0, although every single set has gone down to the last match, Defend the North being one of them. Punisher is another player who's been on the rise this year. Not only did he switch from pad to hitbox, he turned MODOK into a character that you do not want to fight against. Unblockable setups, jamming bombs, and some insane movement are just a few reasons why he's on top of the charts when it comes to MODOK play. I wanted to get an idea of what Punisher thought going into the match, and he said, "Whenever I face an opponent, the first thing that comes to mind is their team's options at the start. The way I approached Kevin in every round but the last one was simple and straightforward. Push him into the corner slowly but give him enough breathing room to make him think he doesn't have to escape." Now before we go any further, I want to give a huge thank you to both Punisher and Kevin for giving me so much insight and taking the time out to tell me their thoughts on the match. Hearing both sides of the match really highlights the cause and effect of their play. Since I will be incorporating so many of their notes, anytime you see Punisher or Kevin's face pop up on the screen, that'll let you know that I am summarizing a quote that is directly from that person. With this in mind, let's check out the match. One of many MODOK perks is being able to always start off the match fairly safe since he can fly before the game even starts. Game 1 starts with Punisher doing just that, but both players agree on the fact that MODOK's shield plays a bigger role in this matchup. It blocks most of Deadpool's zoning, doesn't go away if MODOK gets hit, and if he swings at it, his normals are basically treated as being whiffed, which is bad. Punisher starts controlling the ground game to force Kevin into the air. This gets to hit on Deadpool and leads into a pretty interesting incoming setup after he gets the kill. Punisher does an early grounded M cube, then calls log after it. Now the cube stays active for 60 frames, which we know is a full second, but that's only the active part of it. When the active window fades away, the visual aspect of the hitboxless cube remains for a few more frames. This setup counters push blocks by making you whiff punishable buttons or dashes. Unfortunately, Punisher doesn't capitalize on this, but still manages to keep Kevin locked down with some relentless corner pressure. MODOK is one of the only characters in the game that you should be chicken guarding most of the time and reacting to lows, since his lows are both situational and slow. M cubes force him to come back down when they are trying to up back, and since cubes have little hit stun because they're 0 on block, one bad push block and you'll fall into a very active low maybe. But once Kevin manages to successfully get out of danger and find some space, he starts to regain control of the match. Team Super is a great option with Dual Kevin's team due to the speed of Gimlet and the safety of $1 million to give Hawkeye room to roam. However, being aware of MODOK's grab super, Kevin X-Factors immediately to keep Hawkeye safe. With a good amount of X-Factor time left, Kevin takes out MODOK and lands the hit on incoming with a quick side switch, staying in front of Punisher and allowing his preemptive explosion arrow to complete a setup. X-Factor lasts just long enough to get the kill on Hawkeye, and Punisher only has Rocket Raccoon left. Kevin brings in Dante and just plays it out really patiently. This is a smart choice because not only can Rocket Raccoon duck underneath Hawkeye arrows pretty easily, one mistake can give Punisher the opening he needs to get an easy X-Factor kill. However, Punisher tries to advance forward after getting a hit on Hawkeye assist, but has to X-Factor to avoid getting hit by Dante. It looks like he may have been anticipating a stinger, but Kevin went for drive instead. Kevin immediately double triggers to protect himself from the recovery frames of drive and gets a perfectly timed standing B to anti-air Raccoon and is fully aware of the combo adjustments he needs to make on a small character. All of this helps Kevin close out Game 1. Game 2 starts with both players staying back this time and setting up their keep away. When it comes to the zoning war in this match, Kevin said, "There are a lot of ways I can get around his zoning and still shoot my bullets at him. Like being at super jump height by wall jumping and double jumping so I can still call my assists. I can use L guns, which are the down guns, to shoot at him. I can also do the ground L guns, the crouching guns, to get under his psionic blaster and still shoot at him." Kevin gets some damage on Punisher's Hawkeye as MODOK does super in the air, which was actually a costly mistake. Since he got super instead of a plink dash, Kevin was able to recover just before Punisher and had a solid window to lock him down with Jam Session and open him up with an instant overhead, and that takes out MODOK. Next, Kevin does quick work right as Hawkeye comes into the match with Jam Session, following right behind. This crosses up and gets the hit, but Kevin can't capitalize. Now it's back to a little bit of a keep away war, but against Hawkeye this time. They actually both will keep away for a second or two and then try to approach, constantly moving back and forth trying to punish with their assists. Kevin makes a really smart reaction into air grenades after seeing his very first standing jab anti-air did not connect. This helped keep the fight neutral and both players have to start over again. Kevin goes for a super trying to lock down Hawkeye, but Punisher jumps just in time to score a little bit of damage with Gimlet. Kevin plays it safe and eventually chips out Hawkeye with Jam Session. On incoming and after the throw, the size of Rocket Raccoon messes up two opportunities for Kevin to close out the match. But Kevin goes for the low trigger happy guns that put him right under Rocket Raccoon's laser. Trigger happy into super is all he needed to get the X Factor kill on Rocket and go up 2-0. In Game 3, you'll notice Punisher playing a little more aggressively as he pushes Deadpool to the corner. Kevin actually said he is comfortable fighting in the corner, similar to how Dominion is in Street Fighter, but looking back at it, he would have found an opportunity to teleport even though the startup isn't that fast. He felt that he had chilled a little too much in the corner, and that's what eventually killed him. On the other side of the mind games here, you have Punisher really controlling the screen. He waits until Kevin blocks Hawkeye's assist and gets an empty tri-dash-low while utilizing the range of his crouching H. Crouching H has a pretty significant startup but can be covered when accompanied by Hawkeye assist. Punisher uses this to leave just a big enough gap between the arrows and his H to beat any buttons or jumping, which opened up Kevin. With Deadpool out of play, Punisher goes for the same M-Cube setup as before and manages to confirm the hit this time. Unfortunately, another execution error costs him the combo, but Kevin tries to punish with a standing light too late, and Punisher picks up another combo on Dante for the kill. Punisher then floods the corner with projectiles to force Hawkeye to the ground while keeping him confined and sets up the unblockable with his crouching medium. The puddle is the only part of crouching medium that is a low, and it stays on the screen for 60 frames. And now the score is 2-1. Game 4 begins and we're back to the full screen war. Kevin throws an air grenade, and as soon as Punisher noticed that, he comes down with Modoc's S to both punish and keep himself from getting hit. He dashes forward with light to avoid grenades and pick up the combo. After dropping the combo on Deadpool, Punisher tried to set up an unblockable with crouching M into flight, but accidentally got super again. Since Kevin was already holding up, he got hit by the puddle and the super connected anyways. Deadpool still lives and manages to pick up a nice confirm off of Jam Session and goes for the snap on Raccoon. Punisher gets in safely and waits for the perfect time to teleport behind Deadpool and lay down a trap. The trap is actually faster on startup than Deadpool's super and detonates on contact, which takes out Deadpool. A tricky incoming setup makes Dante come out on the left side of the screen and Punisher clips him but does not get it confirmed. Kevin stays alive and is being cautious of those multiple overheads from Modoc. However, he just gets stuck being in the corner long enough to get opened up again. Kevin also noted that if he kills Modoc, then he feels like he 90% has the match. He said 90 instead of 100 because Anchor Rocket Raccoon can still be a problem, but the odds are against him. So it's clear to see that Modoc played a huge role against Kevin in this set. Kevin tries to use missiles and Devil Trigger to catch Modoc in the air, but Punisher blocks everything and makes the use of meter almost not worth it as Kevin gets sniped. Now it's up to Hawkeye, who's coming in with no meter and only X Factor. Next, a meaty log trap is inbound, and here's where Kevin had to choose whether he blocks the fake cross-up or does something, which would have ended up with him getting hit by log trap anyways if he pressed the button. This closes out Game 4 and brings the match down to the final game. Game 5 really shows how cheap Punisher's team can be if all goes to plan. Punisher gets an early throw after blocking Jam Session and catching Deadpool trying to advance. This gives Punisher the perfect positioning to jam Deadpool and snap in Hawkeye. Punisher still keeps Kevin in the corner and confirms the back tech on the crouching H and sets up Hawkeye for another unblockable. He jams Hawkeye and snaps in Dante, leaving Kevin with only one character who is not jammed. When people have two jammed characters and they've been playing neutral for a while, they tend to forget about having two jammed characters and usually only remember that they have one. This is exactly what happened to Kevin. However, having two jammed characters did not keep Kevin from still fighting it out with Dante. They both play a heavy neutral game, and when Punisher finally lands a hit, he tries to X Factor confirm into a kill on Dante. He doesn't quite execute it correctly, which turns into a huge waste of resources. Dual Kevin manages to pick up a nice air throw, and with use of Deadpool assist, gets a much needed pickup. Unfortunately, Kevin wasn't able to DHC to finish off MODOK since his controls were jammed. Gimlet is a fireball motion, so being jammed, that motion is up, up, back, and back. And this is what ultimately decided the match, as Punisher was able to DHC and get MODOK out safely while also securing the kill on Dante. Kevin impressively blocks 2 overheads while being jammed, but there's only so much you can do with Rocket Raccoon pressuring you while your controls are reversed. Punisher lands the hit and successfully THCs to finish off Hawkeye with a heavy-hitting cube combo. Now a jammed Deadpool is all that's left, and you can tell by the way Kevin was walking forward that he was actually just trying to block normally. Punisher goes for yet another unblockable setup mid-combo to close out the set, bringing it all the way back from being down 2-0. Such a close set, but it really could have gone either way. Looking back on the match, specifically the final game, Kevin said the safest option would have been to X-Factor after $1 million to kill MODOK, since Punisher didn't have X-Factor himself. I could have tagged in Deadpool, wasted jamming bond time, and then I would have had my full team against Hawkeye and Raccoon without X-Factor. I definitely agree with Kevin here, but this is how we learn and come back stronger each and every tournament. So kudos to Kevin for already identifying new options for the future. I love seeing more and more character specialists breaking out in the scene, and I think 2015 was a defining year for Marvel. It definitely showed us that the possibilities are endless when it comes to making your own character thrive. I'm looking forward to Marvel in 2016, and I can't wait to see what everyone brings to the table. Of course, if you want to watch the full, unedited match, you can watch the video on Spooky's channel or check out the link in the description below. Also, be sure to catch Marvel live every first and third Tuesday of the month on twitch.tv/TeamSpooky at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that being said, thank you for tuning into this episode of Marvel Minds, and I hope you enjoyed it. Peace, guys.